From the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, this is TarHillIllustrated.com, or you might be watching this on our rapidly growing YouTube channel, and that's Tar Heel Illustrated. I'm THI staff writer Brandon P. Joining me today is our very own publisher, Mr. Andrew Jones. And AJ, we just watched North Carolina get a rivalry win over NC State 80-69. I'm just going to run through some quick stats and then we'll jump right into it. Armando Bacot had 23 points, 18 rebounds. RJ Davis with 26 points and 4 rebounds. Pete Nance had 5 points and 8 rebounds. But obviously, AJ, the first thing we have to talk about is Armando Bacot. He's had a great season all year. And I believe Hubert Davis said the consistency with Armando Bacot started sometime last season. And I think today was just a testament of how much he's improved while at UNC. So what are your thoughts on Armando Bacot breaking the rebounding record and the double-double record today?
And by the way, Jacob Turtle will be happy that we're going to do this with the possibility of lots of noise in here because they're getting the playing area ready for practice tomorrow. It's amazing. We've talked about it a lot. Whenever somebody does something or reaches a historical mark like this at a program like this, sometimes words just can't do it justice. Sure. So what I did was I sought out Tyler Hansbrough after the game. We were waiting down the tunnel because they were doing something for Armando out here. And Tyler was just kind of standing off to the side. A couple people went over and talked to him. And I said, I'm going to get Tyler. And so I grabbed him. We went back in the tunnel and a couple of us talked to Tyler. And I think what it means is what it means overall for the program. It's not just Armando doing this. Armando's got this little thing he has. This is a program thing. This is something that Tyler Hansbrough took tremendous joy in. This is something that when he grabbed the 17th rebound tonight, everybody in the building knew it was the 17th rebound and knew that was the record.
Yeah.
So to me, Armando grabbing this rebound isn't just Armando Bacot's the all-time leading rebounder in North Carolina. To me, it's Armando Bacot is the next in a line of so many guys that have been doing amazing stuff for so long. We're talking decade after decade after decade. And so it represents something like that, more than just a guy grabbing a bunch of missed shots. I think it reflects the culture of the program, it reflects its history. And what you've seen, and all the people worried about post-Roy, a team that went and played for a national title. And oh, by the way, a guy who set 2 records tonight. He's also the owner of the most double-doubles in school history. He has 61 now, passing the great Billy Cunningham, who had one of the most underappreciated, well-rounded careers as a player, coach, and everything else you could ever have in basketball. And of course, Tyler, you could argue, is the best, most accomplished player in North Carolina basketball history. But it was, you were standing there right with me when we were talking to Tyler. It was the joy that Tyler took in this. And to me, that's it. If Armando was a jerk and didn't work hard and was an annoying kind of boaster, if he turned you off the way he boasts about himself, maybe some people wouldn't take as much pleasure in this. But Armando is one of those rare guys that can walk. He can talk the talk and walk the walk. He backs up what he says, and he does it in a way that doesn't turn you off, doesn't rub you the wrong way. It's really interesting, gregarious, very smart, very insightful, very aware young man who naturally uses his platform to sort of take all the bullets for the program, but also to do all these amazing things to express what the program is all about. I'm a big history guy when it comes to sports. I love baseball history, I love college basketball history. And one of the beautiful things about him doing this, Brandon, is he's allowed a lot of people to learn about Billy Cunningham. Some of the younger media types, they remember Tyler when they were young, but they didn't see him the way I did. I covered Tyler. I covered probably 75, 80% of his games. I was there in the locker room after they won the national title in 2009. I go grab him today, and I remember how excited he was the night that he broke all these records. I was there when he broke the UNC scoring record. I was there when he broke the all-time ACC scoring record. Amazing stuff. And there was so much joy for him because people appreciated the way he went about it. And there's a lot of joy for Armando. So yeah, we could talk about Armando's rebounding ability. We could talk about his grit and his inner drive and his burn and all that kind of stuff. But Armando Bacot is a worthy Carolina basketball figure to have sitting on top of that list right now. And he's actually on top of 2. And he's going to keep climbing in some other areas. He's a worthy guy being up there. He's a worthy man of being up there. And he will be someone that future generations compare themselves to, and he's not done. I mean, hell, they got what 20 more games maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
At his current rate, he's going to grab like 250 rebounds. So he may set this thing so far away that no one ever catches him. And that's very interesting. So kudos to him. I think he's handled it really well. And Tyler, kudos to Tyler. He was very gracious in talking to us, and I really appreciate what he said.
Yeah, I like what you said about this record being a program, not an individual record, but more so of a program record. When he grabbed that 17th rebound, I remember I turned to you and said, man, these fans are really knowledgeable, because it seemed like everybody knew immediately that he had just broken a record. And I didn't expect that. But the second thing is, AJ, I recently wrote a RJ Davis piece talking about how efficient he was. And today he had 26 points and only took 8 shots. It doesn't get much more efficient than that. So what do you think about the point guard's performance today?
I asked him at one point, I said, by the way, you had 14 points, and this is courtesy of you. I need to point to the passer and give you an assist because you told me this. I said, you had 14 points and like 2 field goal attempts. And he smiled. He knew. He knows. They know. Yeah. He's playing really well. And all the hoopla about Armando's setting records and all the chatter about Caleb Love's struggle and all the talk about where does Pete Nance fit in and all the questioning about why doesn't Hubert play this guy or that guy, steadily marching right through it all like a jet airplane going right through clouds, man. RJ Davis is putting together one hell of a season. And I thought it was interesting tonight. I think CL asked him about it, asked Hubert about it, and Hubert's like, yeah, he's an All-American. He's having an All-American season, and he is. The game management, the scoring when they need to. Because remember, I tapped you and I said, RJ's not getting any looks. And boom, he hits a 3. And then like 2 minutes later, he hits that crazy 3 with the shot clock winding down. I said, RJ, how do you hit a shot like that? He said, I practice all the time. He said, we goof around with the shot clock winding down. And, in the end, it's kind of like in baseball, you have all these guys with crazy batting stances. But in the end, it's how does the bat go through the zone? With a shot, it's where's the elbow? Where's the release? How does it come off the fingertips? What is the rotation? And he had that on that. Free throws, gets to the free throw line a lot because he's tough. He doesn't shy away from contact. He has excellent vision and acceleration that when there's a little seam that opens, he can dart into it. And that's where he gets a lot of his runners, and that's where he gets a lot of fouls, and he gets some +1s every once in a while too. RJ's having a hell of a year. RJ Davis deserves right now talk for first team All ACC, All America stuff. And, I think Armando's overshadowing the kind of year RJ's having. But maybe now that this Armando stuff is kind of behind us and behind him and behind his team, maybe we should start asking everybody about RJ. Maybe we should pepper Hubert with questions about RJ, more stuff about him, because this dude has improved. He has improved tremendously. Don't disregard it. Just go ahead and disregard his size and everything else. He's turning himself into an NBA player because the league only gives a crap if you can play in the end. If you can play, then you can play. And RJ Davis has got a lot in his bag, and he doesn't force things like he used to. He's just such a composed player out there. And he has the mannerisms and he has the maturity on the floor of junior point guards at North Carolina that win national championships. I've covered 3 of them. I covered Ray Felton. I covered Ty Lawson. I covered Joel Berry, and now I cover RJ Davis. And he's got a lot of the same attributes that those guys had. And I believe that I think a team could cut down the nets with a dude like RJ running the show. They almost did last year, and they absolutely can this year.
Yeah. So you mentioned his free throw shooting. He went 14 for 14 today. And overall, the Tar Heels went 36 of 39, setting a school record for percentage when the team shoots more than 30 free throws. When this team shoots that well from the free throw line, they're going to be very hard to beat going down the stretch. What did you think about the Tar Heels free throw shooting today?
Amazing. Yeah. You kept telling me, you were charting it. You started asking maybe early in the second half. I hadn't really thought about it too much, and they just kept making them. And they had to. Credit NC State, man. They played hard. They played well. They lost their Quavian. They didn't have some of their rebounders. And every time we thought maybe this is where Carolina pushes away, didn't happen because State is so feisty. And that's a team that can make a run, by the way. Yeah, that's a team. When Carolina gets back to, well, it's going to be a freaking war. But they needed the free throws. Carolina won by 11. They got 36 of 39 from the line. If they're 26 of 39 from the line, then this is a buzzer beating type game. So the free throws were as important with them winning this game as anything else was today. That and defense, which I think you also want to talk about. I think that should go hand in hand. The free throws, when you make free throws, you don't force yourself to have to make up possessions. All right. And then on defense, when you get stops and you slow another team, and you do what Leaky did to Terquavian Smith for a while tonight, and you do what RJ did by disrupting their offense, you hold a high scoring team to 69 points. And honestly, there was a point with about 4 minutes left. I think they had 58. And to me, that's like a number you could circle. If NC State has 58 points on the road with 4 minutes left, the odds are pretty good they're not going to win because they need to score. And Carolina kept them from doing that enough. I think they made them uncomfortable enough. So free throws on one end, D'ing up, bowing up on the other end, absolutely crucial for this team winning this game.
Yeah, you mentioned NC State's toughness, and I just wanted to comment.
We're going to start making noise in a minute, so let's hurry up.
I think Carolina also played tough, and I think when a team is playing tough defensively, but you're playing tough offensively, I think that leads to a lot of fouls being called, and that's why Carolina had 39 attempts. But really quickly, UNC showed a lot of toughness today. They defeated a rival who wouldn't go away easily, as you just mentioned. So just real quick, what does this mean for the Tar Heels going 9? They won 9 of 11 so lately.
Yeah. This team is growing. They're much further ahead of where last year's team was at this time because they know a lot more about themselves. There's not nearly as much mystery, and there's still a lot of stuff to fix. Caleb is going to start hitting shots at some point. When he does, who's better than this team? Pete's still figuring stuff out. He had 5 points tonight. He had the dribble drive for the dunk. They need more offense for him. They need Caleb to be more consistent, hit some shots. Everybody knows that, but they still won 9 out of 11. One of the losses was without Pete and Armando in Charlottesville. The other one was the loss at Pitt that they just let get away. I asked Caleb about that. And when I mentioned the Pitt loss, just go watch the video. Look at the look on his face. It still pains him. Yeah. After they go to Syracuse on Tuesday, that's who's next. They want Pitt. When they come back in here, they know that they let that thing get away. But it's not the worst thing that happened because they learned. We're starting to see on the court examples of the things they learned earlier. I don't think that the disposition of this team has any relationship to the one that was important, to the one that was in Bloomington, Indiana, and maybe the one that was in Blacksburg for the first 30 minutes. I don't think there is any connection to what we saw today, what we saw Tuesday night, and what we're seeing on a more regular basis now to what we saw back in late November and the beginning of December. It's a different team. It's on a mission. Armando was asked tonight, somebody asked him to put himself, where are you in the lore of North Carolina basketball? And he said, who do you compare yourself? Should you be considered one of the greatest players of all time? He said, no, I haven't won anything yet. There's still something else to do. And that's kind of true. Somebody asked, one of the members of the media asked somebody else, when we were waiting for the players to come out next to the locker room, who had a better career, Armando Bacot or Joel Berry? And the first thing their dude said was Joel got a ring. Yep. Banner right up there. His jersey's up there. So that's what Armando wants. And I think that this team has handled his quest for these numbers very, very well. Yeah. They've really done. The joy on Caleb's face when I asked him about it, just a smile. RJ's face. Pete just got here, loving it. Look what he had here today. He didn't at Northwestern. He had it today. I think this team is really trending in a very, very good way. We still got a lot to do, got a lot to get better in so many ways, but they are getting better. I asked Hubert tonight, is the improvement incremental or is it kind of steady? And he said it's kind of steady. That's what you want. Because there's still, what is this, January 21st? They still have 11 league games left. So this team could get a lot better. I think will get a lot better. That's what this means. They want a gritty game against a team that made them uncomfortable, against a well-coached team with bouncy dudes that did a lot of things right tonight. And Carolina still beat them by 11.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything you just said. But AJ, I think that's a good place to stop. Again, North Carolina with an 80-69 win over NC State. The Tar Heels will be in action again on Tuesday against Syracuse. For Tar Heel Illustrated, I've been Brandon P. He's been Andrew Jones. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.